I like to think I have a pretty firm grasp on understanding how a piece of entertainment functions, what certain decisions do to enhance or contradict points that the work is trying to make, how and when the work crosses the line from being good to bad, the subtext of constructed moments, that kind of thing. Whenever someone questions me about my take on certain thing, I believe I can express my thoughts in a way that sounds less like a gurgling lunatic than it does in my head. Basically, I could talk your ear off for minutes on whether I thought a work was good, bad, or meh, and exactly why I thought it reached that level of goodness, badness, or meh. The thing is, though, if you asked why I think Dust and Elysian Tale is great rather than merely very good, I would have a pretty difficult time explaining why. Oh, it's not that there aren't things to like a lot about it. The combat is nicely kinetic and flowing, the environments and art design are gorgeous, and the score is so weep-inducingly amazing that it still stands as one of the best soundtracks of the last 5 years. If I thought like a conventional game critic, I might be able to just slap those qualities on a page, elaborate a bit, and give it a 9.2 out of 10 or something. But that's too easy because it only touches on obvious aspects, namely the mechanics and the aesthetics. I could talk about the story, but one of its biggest strengths is how simple and classical it is for reasons I'll touch on later, so it wouldn't fill up much space in a conversation. Really, the core of what makes Dust and Elysian Tale so fantastic is that the good tangible qualities are incredibly deeply affected by its one big intangible quality. Entertainment is more reliant on intangibles than some people think, but they really are the lifeblood of the work that makes it worth talking about. If not for them, formulating and expressing opinion would be an entirely empirical process where everybody knows exactly what's wrong with a product, and people's opinions on it are either A, the same, or B, differentiated only in what good or bad properties are found, rather than readings into said property that could lead to debate and even disagreement. An intangible can take the form of a subtextual message, or the reasoning behind an ambiguous ending, but more often than not it manifests as a feeling. When emotion pulsates heavily in the heart of a work, it can forgive a few blemishes with regards to thematic structure and story propulsion simply because of the way it radiates feelings from those who made it and exhibits how much they wanted to make it. This can apply to anything, from movies to books, but for passion to come through in a video game is a rare achievement because of how many people are behind making them and how mechanically minded most of them are made. But when it does come through, it can be overpoweringly heartwarming to experience, both because of appreciation of the work itself, as well as an appreciation of the amount of effort the creators put into it. So how exactly does this all apply to Dust and Elysian Tale? To put it simply, Dust and Elysian Tale emanates more love than any other game I've ever played. It can be felt in every varying moment. Every swing of the sword, every note in the score, every dumb joke from Fidget, and every character littering the landscape. There isn't a single detail in this entire game that doesn't glow with passion, care, and tenderness. This is a game that one guy, Dean Dodrell, had an intense desire to share with the world and managed to follow through and create something that teams of 100 wish they could make. In that way, it's reminiscent of Phil Fish's Fez, and while it's evident that a similar amount of effort went into that game, I feel it focuses too much on trying to be innovative and singular, resulting in something that is appreciable, but not really something that I connect to. Dust and Elysian Tale understands that what it wants to be has been done before, from aspects of the story, it derives from various mystic samurai stories in the good Don Bluth movies, to the combat-heavy Metroidvania style of gameplay, and goes all out with it. Really, if I were to compare it to anything else in the world, it wouldn't be the games that it borrows elements from, but instead the Disney Beauty and the Beast. Both pieces understand the simplicity of their content, both know how to execute said content powerfully, and both succeed. However, while Beauty and the Beast has managed to stick around as one of the best animated films of all time, Dust and Elysian Tale has sort of been designated as a cult indie game. On the other hand, those who like it seem to really love it, so it's nice that it grew a modest fanbase, which I can now say that I'm a part of. That doesn't mean there aren't legitimate problems, the biggest of which is the fact that the game makes a big deal about the protagonist's dual identity between benevolence and malevolence, and yet never actually displays it in a meaningful way, as he's generally pure good from start to finish. There are also some story detours that feel like padding no matter how well designed they are from an artistic and gameplay standpoint, but these issues sort of fall to the wayside as a result of the love that can be felt throughout. If art is truly alive, then Dust and Elysian Tale is possibly the most alive a video game has ever been. It is a work of great creator passion, unafraid to go the absolute distance when it could have risked becoming overbearing, and it's something that you absolutely must experience to fully understand. And that's why I consider it a truly great game.